Lafayette Ron's Used Criminals.
Come on down to Lafayette Ron's Used and Leased Criminals. I mean, criminals, partially convicted, waiting trial, what have you. Old, young, fat, skinny, bald, lots of hair, Mexican, Jew. Come on down. Lafayette Ron cuts the best deals. Just listen to this satisfied customer.
I got that Mexican boy real cheap. I'll tell you, I ain't got to feed him much, don't give him no water, nothing, and he keeps just pulling plump cabbages out the ground. Sometimes I gotta whip him, but he takes it all right, I guess. Anyway, yeah, Lafayette Ron's Used Criminals is a damn good establishment.
Now listen to the Convict Leasing.
Tengo miedo.
See, it's a great deal. They're both happy. Everything's working out just fine. Come on down. This week we got a special on 2-for-1 felons. If it's anything above a misdemeanor, you can get it's cash back on the second felon. And you don't even have to return them in good condition. You know, we got them all over the place. You just come on down. You yank them right out of jail. What do you want them to do? You want them to flip burgers? You want to work on your yard? You know what you can do? Anything you want. Anything you want. It's not slavery. Come on down to Lafayette Ron's.
Lafayette Ron's Used Criminals.
Welcome back, Deviates, to Delete Everything Podcast, our chain gang on the side of the highway, where if you're well enough behaved and you ask real nice, we will let you have a break for a cup of ice cold, unknown, deleted, forgotten, and omitted history. I am your old Southern Sheriff, Patrick Wall, and with me, as always, my prisoner pretending to do work while secretly getting a lay of the land and plotting his escape.
Taking it off here, boss. Riley Bowen.
We also have our rookie on the force. He's mostly responsible for tracking down all of the prisoners' shovels and pickaxes. The station's tool boy, producer Joe Welby, is mic'd up today.
Hey, I like that.
That was good.
Fun.
That was good.
You're excited about that, weren't you?
I knew about that.
That's
like
the
a
whole
week
reason
ago.
I told you had to be here today.
That was it.
Yeah, you can leave
Can
now.
I go now?
Yeah, you fuck off. First and foremost, thank you if you left us a review, a rating, a comment on Spotify. We appreciate that. And if you have not yet, please get on whatever you're listening to and give us 5 stars. If you're on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. Talk about all the dumb shit we do. Leave us a fucking recipe for, I don't know, cannelloni. Whatever you want to do. We don't care what you write in there.
Vegan stuff actually would be good. I'm trying to eat healthier.
Oh, God.
I've been eating a lot of lion's mane mushrooms. They're good. Sauteed with butter. They kind of like, they work like chicken.
We're all judging you.
Good. Fucking judge me. I don't give a fuck. I jerk to the beat of my own horn or whatever.
I don't give a fuck what you eat.
I don't give a fuck what you think about what I eat.
I don't either. It's just, like I already can't offer you a beer. Now, if we go out to grab food, I have to like make sure that there are vegan options
You have
available.
lion's mane mushrooms.
That guy. Are you going to print out a list to bring in of shit you can't eat?
No.
Yeah, right. A little card that says, "Here are all of my allergies."
You know what? I can't eat whiskey. That's it. That's the thing. That's the thing that I can't have.
This dog is fucking everything up.
Give the dog here.
I'm gonna build a cage for this thing.
I have a cage at home.
You want me to make a quick cage with these things?
Yeah, just a little styrofoam. Yeah. She's gonna eat through those styrofoam
blow right
boards.
through them.
Might be funny though.
Oh, my dog's here. I've got a dog.
The dog has been here nonstop.
I've got a good dog.
Never left.
I've got a good dog at home. I've got a husky that you might remember from our first few episodes if you been around that long. She's doing great. Now I got a puppy. And this puppy is a fucking bitch. I love her, but Jesus Christ, what a character.
Every time Drew gets up, she waits longingly.
She's contemplating jumping off of that couch and going after him. It's a little high for her though.
That's a big jump.
She's contemplating it though. She's fucking working it in her brain. You can see the facts and figures like. Dun, 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 dun.
Tell us whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Just leave a review with 5 stars. Also, if you are what?
I don't give a fuck what you say. Just make sure that the stars.
Yeah, you can tell us about your day. You can tell us about that bitch Karen at work.
That bitch.
You can leave a recipe for stuffed shells. Whatever makes you happy.
Vegan stuffed shells, please.
Vegan stuffed shells for Riley. Jesus. Also, if you are on Spotify, you can leave comments on individual episodes. If you listen to one that you like and you want to leave a comment, we usually comment back. So go nuts. If you want to see photos and whatnot of each individual episode, this one or any others, you can get on Instagram and find us at Delete Everything Podcast. Give us a follow while you're there. Riley, you're 3 episodes back on Instagram posts.
2.
3.
2. Wait, what's today?
We had a fresh episode dropped yesterday.
Fuck.
Yeah, we do it every
Listen,
week.
I got something. It's called Instagram impermanence. Okay, it's a new psychiatric condition that was coined today just now by me.
Jesus Christ. You can also get on YouTube and watch some shorts on there. The episodes are all there too, but if you're listening to this, you're probably not listening to it on YouTube. And if you are listening to it on YouTube, go ahead and go up to shorts and see us dicking around in our studio and enjoy that.
We be dicking inside some shorts.
We do. And lastly, if you have not yet, patreon.com. I have run out of things to say are more than $8. I had a good one the other day and I can't remember what it was. But yeah, it's cheap. $8, man. That's nothing these days. And you will get 64 episode back catalog plus new episodes every week. They're wacky. I don't know how to describe them other than that. Expect the unexpected.
Yeah. They're wild. They're wacky. They're unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
They're fun. They're horrifying. They're kind of racist, I guess. One of them we did just the last one.
Only if you're blue. If you're blue, super racist, and we apologize. By the way, in that one, when we found the most horrible racist name for someone who's blue, we both felt real yucky about it.
Yeah.
So we were trying to come up with racial epithets for blue people, and most of them were fun and lighthearted. And then we got to one where we were like, oh, nope, don't like that. So
this is regarding the Na'vi, by the way. I want everyone to understand.
It was actually regarding the blue fugates of...
Oof.
What?
Rough.
The blue fugates? Fugate is their last name.
You keep saying it.
That's their last name.
Listen.
I'm not just mispronouncing one of the things we might call them to be dicks. You blue fugate.
No. Listen.
I'm listening. I am all ears right now because I can't wait.
Show calls to you, okay?
God damn it. All right. That's our intro. That's the whole thing, right? Yeah, that's how I usually intro. Hey, what'd you guys do this week?
Let's see. I feel like I did stuff. I feel like I did something. I don't know what the fuck it was. I have spent a lot of time at thrift stores because I know what it is. I cleaned my bookshelves, and if anyone knows me, I am like a fucking like.
You got a lot of bookshelves.
I'm a bookshelf boy. I got 2 real good bookshelves essentially, but they're really packed, and I've got some great books on there. But I did a cleaning. I got rid of a few. I like dusted them all and shit. They look so good that it restarted the horrifying old hoarding addiction that I have for books. And I was like, what books don't I have? So I've been storming through Goodwills trying to find books that I'm never going to fucking read that I'll put on the shelf. And that has been fun.
Is that why you brought me a copy of L. Ron Hubbard's Dianetics
That
today?
was on my shelf already, actually.
That's okie dokie.
It's better than Krishna.
What's that?
Krishna?
Oh, like the Krishna,
like the Hare Krishna, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. Is it better?
I don't know. That's what Tenacious D said. Is that song? Dianetics doing much better than Krishna.
Oh.
Dianetics doing just better than D.
I don't know that one. Drew, how was your week, bud?
Pretty good. I mostly just worked and put off editing the podcast.
Drew was texting us all week. He's like, I got to go out to the studio and record and edit the podcast, but I don't feel like it, so I'm not going to do that.
We're 80 episodes deep. It's like
I feel like we're still a little bit unwindy from like
yeah.
New Year's Eve was less than a week ago.
Yes, today is January 6th, and I feel like I'm coming out of it, but it was just like kind of that holiday circuit. Exhausted a little bit.
I'm definitely feeling more focused coming out of the holiday season. I always do.
Yeah.
But I also feel like none of us have rested. So it's like, it's more of just like an emotional.
I have not rested. Yeah. Well, yesterday I literally was like, I'm not leaving the house. I'm cooking some food. I had food at the house already. I was like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. I'm not fucking talking to anybody. Just everybody leave me alone. And I pretty much stuck to that.
Nice.
I did a lot of notes for this show.
Nice.
I've been making a lot of ramen noodles, but like good ones.
Yeah, me too. My brother-in-law sent us like I don't know, the fancy ones actually.
Hell yeah. I like to make the jammy eggs. I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Different seasonings, meats.
I think I'm like rebooted a bit. I got my first like solid 8 hours of sleep.
You put your jammy eggs in a thing of soy sauce?
I do, but I didn't this time around because I just didn't have time.
Okay.
It was more of a, don't fucking judge me. What was that? I saw that. Like, oh, you don't fucking soak your jammy eggs in this?
I don't know how much time it takes to
24 hours.
Yeah. You just...
I picked up all the materials on my way home because I was like,
the active time to do that is 3 minutes.
Why does everyone think I'm going to plan all my meals a day in advance?
Because you're a fucking adult?
I am an adult with a busy lifestyle. I don't fucking think like, oh, you know what? Tomorrow, after I get out of work, I'm going to block off fucking 2.5 hours to just make ramen. What I think is, I'm going home. I'm hungry. You know what I want? Ramen noodles. You know what would be really good in ramen noodles right now? I'm going to get some good like wild mushrooms and some shit. Then I get home and I'm like, oh man, I wish I thought of this yesterday because I would have fucking soaked these fucking eggs. Like any adult.
You know what I do? I make extra eggs and then I just eat soy sauce soaked jammy eggs for like days.
Opulent fuck.
Yeah. I do want to take a second because this is the first episode in a while, speaking of how busy we've been, where I had the opportunity to like bury myself in the research. I've always tried on my episodes to get like really into all the nuance of all the things, try to present it in like an interesting story driven way. And lately, like probably for the last 3+ months, it's just been too fucking busy, too crazy, too much work shit, life shit, personal shit, you know, like there just wasn't the time to do 12, 15 hours of research that I've done on episodes like, you know, Life of Crime of J. Edward Robinson, or, you know, the MK Ultra series, or Night Witches, or, you know, all these that like the episodes that I sort of pride myself in. So, like not just my research, but like the way that we present it, the storyline, you know, trying to keep the history and the jokes and all that stuff. Like it's definitely takes a village, right? Fucking Drew puts a ton of hours into editing and all that stuff. So I just wanted to say, I'm not trying to go off on a big tangent here, but this is the first episode in a while where I threw myself into like hours upon hours of research and typing show notes, and Drew will have all of his editing stuff, and Riley will have hours of thinking up ways to be the last one in the studio and the first one out.
I was early today.
And you were still the last one in.
God damn it. And then I left for a little while and got a skateboard.
I hope it turns out to be as good of an episode for you guys as I feel like it is. And I hope you guys enjoy it, Riley.
Yeah, this is like a real funny topic, right?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
What was this one? I think this episode's called Laugh and Happy Fun Time.
We're talking about convict leasing.
Oh, like letting convicts get like leases on small homes,
like lease
apartments.
like lease a 2026 Hyundai.
Like get a good foot forward when you're getting out of a tough position.
Great leasing options on a Ford Explorer.
You've shown like rehabilitative behavior.
A little motorboat.
We're gonna gonna get you a nice lease on, you know, like a new lease on life.
New lease on
life. Yeah.
Fuck, you beat me to it. Yeah. No, this is not a fun topic at all. But as we have said in previous episodes, we're out of the holidays, where, you know, we're all busy, and all those super in-depth episodes that like require all this research. It's like that's impossible during those seasons, or that season. So
this is also our first recording day of 2026. So we're coming in strong.
Time to get back to our bread and butter.
Get back on the horse
with an episode that's sure to depress and upset you, because
that's what we're known for.
Yeah, the world is a horrible place full of horrible people.
Yeah, like 6 episodes, solid jam-packed dick jokes.
Yeah.
Before this, so fucking buckle up, bitch.
Honestly, we should all just drop our phones and wallets where we stand, walk into the woods, and live out in the fucking wilderness for at least 500 years before we are allowed to even attempt a reconstruction.
That's how I feel.
That's how I feel too.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's literally how we all feel. It's like, maybe we should all just be cavemen for a while.
Yeah,
huh?
let's just quit all this shit for a while. So, you got listen here. Okay, so firstly, it is important to for me to establish the context for convict leasing, right? Which, if you're unfamiliar with the term, it is not great APR on a 2026 Hyundai Sonata. It is
What is it, like 33%?
It's a 33%. It's a really bad APR. Only if you're a convict. By the way, if you're unfamiliar with the term, congratulations for not knowing about this particular atrocity. Okay, it is now illegal for jails and prisons to lease prisoners out to private businesses for forced free labor.
It is now illegal?
It is illegal. That is illegal, right? Now, I say kind of sort of because a lot of the qualifiers in that last sentence are what make that specific convict leasing illegal. But as we'll see by the end of the episode, it hasn't disappeared completely so much as it's just evolved into a different thing.
Some fun little loopholes.
We'll get into that soon enough.
Is this, hold on. We say leasing.
Yeah.
Is this a lease to own scenario in any case?
No. Let me get into the
I feel
context.
like Barry's been working at this Burger King for like 6 years now. I'm pretty sure he's ours.
He's going to be paroled soon. He just belongs to us now, right? No. Let me get into the context I just promised. So, as far as I can tell, as far as U.S. history goes, this evolved over time, right? Starting pretty early on with prisons all around the country, using prison labor specifically to benefit the prison, right? Need new latrines? Prisoners do it. Need to mine and level a bunch of adjacent land for a new prison building? Prisoners do it, right? It's a pretty common movie trope. We've all seen it.
Yeah, it's like when they had Andy and Red retard the roof of the gymnasium.
Correct,
or whatever.
exactly.
In
Shawshank, yep. I don't think a whole bunch of people noticed or cared, right? You're in prison. Prison needs stuff done. Work in the prison, make the prison better. We could get into the ethics of that, but I mean, it is what it is. I don't think
bad ethics.
I think if you dig enough, it's bad. But I mean, I think there's also like, okay, it's ethically a gray area, right? I'll leave it at that for as far as I'm concerned, right? Okay, so like I said, not a bunch of people noticed or cared. In 1821, a guy named Elam Linz takes over as warden of Auburn Prison in Auburn, New York. Elam thinks to himself, when we need new prison uniforms, the prisoners sew them. When we need new tools or brooms or buckets or furniture made, we've got guys who can make that stuff.
Why outsource?
So Elam Linz starts using prison staff to manufacture other shit that he can then sell at local markets for profit, right? Not profit in his pocket personally, although I'm sure there were some kickbacks, but this is money for the state of New York City, or at least for the city of Auburn. I'm not sure where exactly it was going, but it was going back to the establishment. It wasn't Elam Linz going, hey, look, we have all this stuff. You guys make me a couch and I'm going to sell it and put the money in my pocket.
Right.
So still operating in a now we're in a much more murky area ethically, because you could make the case that forcing someone to work for free, creating something of intrinsic value that's sold for profit, and you keep the profit is not very cool. But you could also make the case that the state is paying for 3 hots and a cot. And if you're convicted of crime, you owe a debt to society. And this is one of the ways you're paying it. Again, ethically murky. You could argue both sides probably pretty well.
There's that argument that, it's going to keep those kids off the streets getting into trouble when they work in this sneaker factory.
Right. Again, without getting too much into it, this is how Elam Linz starts doing. This becomes known as the Auburn system, and boy, oh boy, does it become popular real fucking fast, right?
They were like, hold on a second, you're saying that these guys will work for free?
Well, so all these prisons at the time, again, we're talking about early 1800s, all these prisons had the means to, they had sewing machines, they had, whatever manufacturing shit in the prison to make all the things for the prison, but those things can be used in other places.
I thought you were going to say, like, this is the early 1800s. They had the means to get free labor.
Not in Auburn, New York, honestly, but in some places.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So, but I mean, almost immediately, all kinds of states, all kinds of cities, north, south, you name it, started implementing this, right? Even slave states were like, well, shit, doesn't matter. You're in the prison. You know how to do a thing. Fucking do it, and I'm going to sell it.
I'm not going to wear out my slaves when we got perfectly good convicts over here.
So, all right. In the 1840s, the great state of Louisiana, great because it produced me, not because of what we're about to talk about, starts leasing convicts into forced labor contracts with private companies. So now we've evolved a little bit, right? Now it went from we're using our convicts to better the prison when something needs repaired or something, whatever, to now we can use that stuff and we can sell it off site because we have all the manufacturing capabilities and we can pocket that money. Now it's, hey, we can sign a contract with a private company to just send our guys over there to do work for those guys. So this, like I said, a very different thing. You're going to go work elsewhere in your prison uniform for this company for however long I say, and they're paying us directly. We've left out the middle bit where the prisons have to manufacture things on site or have to worry about maintaining equipment or paying to treat work injuries or transporting goods to stores to sell. We've cut all that middle shit out.
So you just pay us for the means with which to produce
we don't
this
have to
product.
keep inventory on things anymore. With now we just check them in, ship them out. Right?
Which prisoner number was this? 55125. Okay, that's what you're paying for. We don't care what the fuck you do with them. As long as we get 55125 back.
Yeah. Again, if we're talking about ethical murk, we are diving further and further into it, right?
Ethical Merc is our new character.
Ethical murk.
Yeah, it's a side character. The Ethical Merc is a character that's always like, now listen, I want to be a good guy here. Okay? I'm just saying, perhaps if we use the prisoners, it'll teach them personal responsibility.
Yeah, he's the guy who uses the excuse, it's just a word all the time. Okay,
I know this guy.
So Alabama, by the way, soon followed suit on this practice. But within like a decade and a half of this practice starting in those two states, we've got a civil war, right? We all know the Civil War. We all know how it ended. We don't need to get into all of that.
We don't need a civil war. What's the Civil War anyway?
If you want to get into that, we've got other episodes where we hash it out. This episode is not for that, so we're not going to get into the Civil War. Go buy a fucking book. There's a bunch of them. In 1865, in the wake of the Civil War's over, right? In the wake of the Civil War, and as part of post-war Reconstruction, we added the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, which abolishes slavery and involuntary servitude.
Right.
Except, and this is a very important caveat, as punishment for a crime. And that is a very super important caveat.
Yeah, that's a big one.
This is a what's that band?
System of a Down.
No.
Skank and Pickle.
No.
Melissa Etheridge.
It's not a band. It's an entity.
The Indigo Girls.
I went and saw them. They opened up for
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Wu-Tang.
Opened up for Wu-Tang.
Uh-huh.
Run the Jewels.
Run the Jewels. Yeah.
They got a song about that.
Yeah. System of a Down too.
Look at all these slave masters posing on your dollar. That was with Zach De La Rocha.
Okay, yeah.
All right,
Good
so
song.
like I said, except for punishment for a crime. So that's the federal law. After that, each state can then decide whether to adopt or not adopt that verbiage into their state constitutions, right? So about half of the states in the U.S. immediately implemented that amendment into their own constitutions, some with exceptions, some with zero exceptions. The other half of the states made no mention of slavery/servitude being okay as punishment for conviction of a crime, which, by the way, is not necessarily a good thing as long as the federal law says it's okay. Meaning, even if you don't adopt it into your state constitution, it's still fine if you want to do it because the federal law says it is.
Right.
So not mentioning is not necessarily a good or a bad thing.
Would you have to get that ratified in your state constitution if it's already like a federal law?
We're about to get into that. Yes, is the answer. By the way, it's not necessarily the states you would think. It's pretty well spread out. Like, as a great example, places like Florida, Texas, South Carolina, and Virginia, which were all slave states, did not implement that. They made no mention either way of it, which, like I said, is not necessarily a good or a bad thing, but they made no mention whatsoever. Places like California, Oregon, Vermont, all bastions of liberalism as we know them today, all have that language in their state, or at least did until very recently. What?
No, Drew's looking at me funny. I was like,
You looked at me funny first. I was like,
You guys stop making eyes at each other while I'm talking about slavery. Yeah, so like I said, California, Oregon, Vermont all added into their state constitutions.
Sorry.
It's okay to enslave people who are convicted of a crime.
That's not the funny thing. I was just thinking, like, quit making eyes at yourself while fucking we're talking about slavery. And all I can think of is my favorite bit that I did, possibly in the entire period surrounding the John Edward Robinson episode, when he said, like, he went by the name Slave Master. And like, my favorite part of that episode is just my voice going, Slave Master. That's what just popped into my head. Quit making eyes at each other when I talk about slavery. Slave Master. They call me Slave Master.
By the way, Oregon, Vermont, and Colorado all had amendments within the last 6 years for Colorado, 4 years for the other two, scratching that from their state constitutions. California still got it. Want to guess another state that scrapped it before California?
Hold on a second.
They took out the part. So their state constitution says slavery and indentured servitude shall be illegal, except in the case of something. I'm paraphrasing here, but except in the case of punishment for conviction of a crime.
Except in the case of if we want to use them as slaves.
So they scrapped the last part. So now their state constitution says simply slavery and involuntary servitude are illegal, period, full stop.
Is that, I want to say, Virginia.
Alabama got rid of it. California still got it.
God damn.
Right?
Wow.
You gotta be fucking, if you are in California listening to this right now, that should be kind of embarrassing. For
You know
you
what that
guys.
is?
I hate to tell you.
That's like gap-toothed fucking like wife-beating yokels just being like, nah, you ain't gonna make me work. You're gonna put me in prison. I'm voting Amendment 1. You put me in there, I'm gonna lay around. I ain't gonna make no damn license plates.
Also, Tennessee scrapped it too. They all got rid of slavery exceptions before California. Also, by the way, before Louisiana and Michigan. So we should probably shut the fuck up, you and I.
What about Florida? I was born here.
Well, we'll get to Florida soon enough.
Fuck.
Florida will take up the bulk of our
I have never
episode today.
claimed to be a proud Floridian just to get out in front of that.
By the way, the legal term for this exception is called the penal exemption clause. I just wanted to get the info out of the way before giving you guys that ammunition.
Okay.
Nothing on penal exemption clause.
What? Now we know what it means.
No, I signed that in my first marriage.
I focused more on the clause, and I was like, that's a good way to combat vagina dentata is with your penal clause.
That's not bad.
Oh, yeah.
The
You got a
penal clause is real.
Okay. So that is the origin of convict leasing pre-Civil War and the exemptions in the aftermath of the Civil War, right? So I've set the stage for everything that happens moving forward in this episode. Naturally, the phenomenon of criminal leasing blew up in the South during Reconstruction. It honestly couldn't have happened any other fucking way. Right?
Yeah, it's kind of like epitomized generally in pop culture. You know, like you've got the Coen Brothers movie, "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" is like a pretty good example of that being like superfluous. But anybody can, here in St. Augustine in this town, you've got we have statues of prisoners wearing striped clothes, on chain gangs.
Yeah.
It's like that became a huge part of the New Deal and the Reformation and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And that actually, the striped uniforms and the chain gang, that was actually that got popularized with what do we call it? The Auburn system with Elam Lynn's in New York. That was part of the Auburn system, was dressing them up in the stripes and putting them on the chain and all that shit. That was
also popularized by the band The Pretenders with the song "Back on the Chain Gang."
Back on the Chain Gang. You were supposed to do the ooh.
Back on the chain gang. I was gonna do the fucking the harmony on the other side.
Oh, okay, my bad. Anyway, so
did you know? Sorry to interrupt, but I learned this just the other day. You know the song "Fuck the Pain Away" by the Peaches?
It's just by Peaches, not the Peaches.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But you're familiar with the song.
Yeah. Sucking on my titties like you wanted me. Call me all the time.
Which I sometimes sing to the tune of "Gone Daddy Gone" by the Violent Femmes. Sucking on my titties like you wanted me, calling me. But that song, I did not realize, makes an immediate reference to Chrissy Hine from The Pretenders, the lead singer.
Really?
Sucking on my titties like you wanted me, calling me. Like Blondie, Debbie Harry's Blondie.
Sure.
Blondie, check out my Chrissy behind. It's fine all of the time.
Nice.
Yeah, two female-led punk rock band, or progressive punk band references
That's
in the
just
beginning
some
of that.
great wordsmith.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Wordsmithing. By the way, some people argue that the way the 13th Amendment was written to begin with was more or less an olive branch to the South. Because you've just lost the entire labor force that drives your entire economy in the South, right? Via slavery being abolished, right? So there goes your whole labor force. You just lost a war. You just lost hundreds of thousands of your young men in that war. They're fucking dead. Like, regardless of how you feel about the secession of the South, I think we can all agree that those things are not a very fucking solid recipe for a quick recovery.
Right.
So a lot of historians think that the reason it was written with that like, well, except for as punishment for a crime, was so that the South could have something to sort of grab onto and be like, okay,
We'll give you a little slavery as a treat.
we'll get some
We want some conditional
slavery with extra steps is still slavery, I guess. Go ahead. So
Can we please have a little bit of slavery? Just a little itty bitty bit of slavery.
yeah, I mean, so like if
What if they were really bad?
they were really bad. So like if you got to figure, if we lost our whole labor force, our free labor force, by the way, but the Constitution says that we can still compel someone who is guilty of a crime to work for free. Well, all we need is criminals, right? Easy peasy. And so we can draw a pretty direct line from that amendment to things like the Black Codes, Jim Crow, laws like a black man can't change jobs without approval from his employer, which was a very real law and adopted by several states. The other thing that happened, vagrancy laws were expanded and the penalties were increased. So you don't have a job, you're a vagrant, and that's not a petty crime anymore. That comes with jail time.
Yeah, Rambo. That's what happens in First Blood.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't
Yeah, because
remember that part.
he's a vagrant. That's the whole thing. He's arrested for vagrancy, even though he's just passing through.
Well, that was like in the late 70s.
It was in the
early
70s, but it's still like that's that kind of. It's still the American system of, it's illegal to be a vagrant.
Right. So at the time in the South, I imagine your job options were already fairly limited. I mean, okay, up until super recently, we didn't have to pay most of you guys anything at all. Now suddenly you're all free. You all want us to pay you money to work now? Right? And I'm sure there were people with like the right can-do attitude that managed to like weave their way through that fucking maze and make it out of the other end. We know historically about some of those people, but that's...
You talk about the weasels who would like fucking like have their workforce paid in tickets and stuff like that? Is that what you're saying? Or
also, yes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying to be like in the immediate aftermath of the Civil War, right? If you were an ex-slave, your job options had to be super fucking limited, right?
Yeah,
and
pretty much to slaving.
Right. and now we've expanded vagrancy laws and made the penalties harsher. That's, I mean, I don't care who you are. That's the deck stacked against you pretty fucking heavy. So convict leasing sees a gigantic surge, right? Now, keep in mind, it was a lot of the states in the South, like Louisiana, Alabama, implemented this in the 40s, pre-Civil War, but it was not as used as in
the 1840s.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm sorry. What did I say?
You just said the 40s, but
oh yeah, the 1840s.
We should maybe specify.
Yes, in the 1840s. Yes,
so that people don't think you're an idiot and you think that the Civil War happened in the
good history.
If they've
dumbass.
listened to more than 3 episodes of this podcast, they know I'm an idiot.
We're all our special brand of idiot.
I love this show because it's really like we're all pretty sharp, but we're not that sharp, and we're fucking like, oh shit!
Yeah.
Like we just learned that Russia's right above Poland. The fuck is going on there?
Well, no, that's a little fucking.
There's some weird
nugget
like offshoot of Russia that neither of us have ever heard of. That's directly above Poland, next to Lithuania.
I feel like I knew that.
Like before you get into like Latvia, Lithuania, is it Lithuania?
Yeah, it's Lithuania right there.
And Latvia and Estonia, there's a little nugget. I mean, it's teeny tiny.
A little Russian nugget.
Yeah, just above Poland, right on the coast. I was like, what the fuck? And it's not attached to the rest of Russia.
Poland.
Yeah, I just like that we'll be talking
what
about
the fuck is this?
completely unrelated shit, and then like something will pop up and be like, the fuck is that? What is the Holy See? The fuck?
And I know a lot. I mean,
Where's
I'm pretty
Guernsey?
good. I'm pretty good with maps. What the fuck is Guernsey?
The fuck is Guernsey?
Which I think were my exact words the first time we had to download from
That's
Guernsey.
literally
I was like,
the
what the fuck is Guernsey?
Now it's our favorite place.
It is. Well, I don't know. I haven't been there yet, but I like the
recently.
idea of Guernsey.
I haven't seen the Guernseyans recently.
Well,
Where you at, Guernsey? Other than the South Atlantic Channel or whatever?
Probably enjoying the holidays with their families.
Might be waning.
Huh?
I said my love may be waning.
Oh.
You ever notice Guernsey sounds like a cheese?
It does.
It's a nice Guernsey.
Sounds like a good cheese.
Sounds like a
Gruyere
good-ass
or
cheese.
something. Yeah.
So anyway, Convict Leasing sees this giant surge, right, in post-war Reconstruction. Don't worry, because this doesn't remain a whole let's get the slaves to keep slaving issue, because it doesn't take long before the people making the money realize, oh shit, if anybody can be a prisoner, then anybody can be forced to work for me.
Ooh.
So who cares what color they are?
Yeah.
That's bucks in my pocket, baby.
This is one of the reasons I've always said there is no war but the class war.
100%. Like, I probably don't have to say this out loud, but if I let anyone listening guess who the first contractors in the South to pay state prisons for labor were, it was the plantations.
Well, yeah.
It was the plantations because, of course, it fucking was.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same exact principle that's like, okay, the plantations, okay, we got to let all our slaves go. Well, all these people around here need some work now, huh? So I guess we'll pay them less than it cost to feed and house them before.
Right, or we can pay them, or there's a prison down the road, and we can pay less we pay the prison to have these guys come work for free.
Especially if it's like, what, you guys don't have any possessions or home? Sounds like vagrancy to me.
So, like I said, this explodes.
You always did want to get into the big house, didn't you?
Yeah, Jesus.
But
But
I'm sorry, is my southern slavery joke not going to land well?
It was a good one. It was a good double,
was a good one.
It was a good
It's
double
just,
entendre.
yeah.
I like it. I
It's
like it.
also horrifying. So it's,
Yeah, it is.
So this explodes so significantly that it becomes financially huge for all parties involved. In 1893, 73% of Alabama's annual state revenue was coming specifically from convict leasing.
God damn.
73% of their entire state's revenue for the year was just off of signing contracts with private companies, pocketing that money, and sending a bus full of convicts to go work for free.
Hadn't figured out meth yet, huh? If anybody's listening from Alabama, I don't regret saying that.
We do. We've got Alabama listeners like a motherfucker.
I'm going to keep saying I don't give a fuck.
if they're listening to this, they're probably
cool.
They're cool.
Not you.
But you know somebody, I guarantee you. Uncle Peepaw, I bet, is his name.
Uncle Peepaw. He's blue. That's a Patreon joke.
Yeah, you're going to join our Patreon for that.
$8 to figure out what that means.
So like in a situation like this, again, these private companies are paying less money to get convicts to go work for free, which I guess isn't free to them, but it's less money than to pay somebody to like hire you and you sign a W-2 and a fucking I-9 and you know all that shit, right? It's W-2 or W-4?
I'm a W-4.
W-4 and an I-9.
Yeah,
W-2 is what you get for your taxes. Yes. We don't pay taxes. What are we saying?
God knows I do. Fuck.
I do too.
I didn't used to. I spent about a decade just fucking saying that I got tipped $8 this year.
So for example, like, and so when everybody's making this type of money, who's going to change the fucking status quo?
Right.
Like who fucking cares?
Yeah, man. I mean, tale all the time.
The people who see it and want it to change don't have any fucking ability to do it.
They're the ones who are getting fucked.
Yeah, other than hold a sign on the side of the road going, don't do it.
Yeah.
And
literally us right now in the world.
Yeah.
So it's like, spoiler alert, guys, this isn't an issue that just resolved itself.
The company's contracting through the Alabama DOC, by the way. This is, again, in 1898, when 73% of Alabama's income for the state is coming from convict leasing. They were paying $9 a month per convict, right? $9 per month per man.
Solid deal.
Which is way cheaper than paying a free man a daily or weekly rate. So they're totally cool with it. And what happens is that these companies that are using convict labor start looking and running a whole lot like they did before, like plantations did before slavery was abolished, right? Specifically, they start employing whipping bosses. They start withholding food and water if they felt like work wasn't being done quickly enough. The living quarters are fucking trash.
They call me whipping boss.
Slave master.
Slave master.
And by the way, there are plenty of people that I believe should be in prison. They've done things that omit them from being allowed back into society.
Not me.
I know what you're going to say.
There's only two kinds of people. People that should be put into places with mental health care and the ability to reform, and those that should be shot behind a dumpster.
I fucking knew it.
Prisons are inherently evil and should not exist. That's just a radical ass Riley take.
Well,
Radical dude.
You are a radical dude. I have an issue, and I think we've talked about this before. I have an issue with saying you're not allowed to do that. There are rules, right? And the rules say you can't do that because only we can do that. Like if you were to chain someone up in your house, force them to work, deny them food and water, you're going to fucking prison, and you should go to fucking prison.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You shouldn't be allowed to do the same shit because you made the rules as the state. Like you put somebody in prison for that, and you're like, oh, okay, now you're gonna go in the chains and do the like. That's just some state sanctioned nightmare shit.
It's a difficult line because obviously a state sanctioned anything has to have like a mandate from the populace.
Well, by the way, because I know somebody's sitting there with the fucking doing the Hammurabi's code eye for an eye bullshit. Before you hit me with that fucking dumb shit, right? I'm cool with giving that person to the family of the person that they chained up and letting them sort it out. I'm fine with that, dude. At least that's like poetic in a fucking morbid way. But state sanctioned carte blanche that's just fucking stupid and crazy. I think that's fucking crazy.
I think there are systems of rules and stuff like that would definitely lead to a healthy populace, but in general, no, it is like.
Is it shooting them behind the dumpster?
It can be, but no. But I think that if you've ever been through the legal system, you ever like go to like spend a night in county or anything like that, Drew?
Fuck no.
Anything?
Nope.
I've had varying.
Knock on wood.
I've had varying run-ins with the law.
That was sheetrock, bro.
Fuck.
That's just gypsum board.
I have a clean record, but I've had my varying run-ins. I've had to sit in court several times.
Your record's clean?
My record is clean.
Unlike that dick.
Dirty.
But yeah, I have a clean criminal record.
Dirty dick, boy.
Somehow I have a clean criminal record, but I have had to sit through court and stuff like that, and I've had to like be in police stations and talk to police. I've been handcuffed once.
I've been handcuffed.
Possession of a weapon by the New York Police Department.
I've never been handcuffed by police.
I got handcuffed. I got handcuffed by the
Wowzers. All right.
I got handcuffed by the NYPD in Brooklyn one time on my way to a To Live Quality concert because the police officer misidentified my pocket knife as a gravity knife. But neither here nor there. Sitting through the court process is one of the most Kafkaesque and horrific things that I can even imagine. The psychological torture of sitting in a room full of bored, disinterested, cruel people.
I've gone to traffic court.
That's one thing. But like sitting in a criminal court with people who are facing years of their lives being taken away is such like a cold experience. That's
what I'm saying. The state, this like laboratory, like state sanctioned, like it's okay because we made the rules, so we can do it.
Yeah, it's fucked.
We can punish you with the thing that you did because we said it's not okay for you to do it, but we can do the same thing because we have a system established for it. That to me, that's a nightmare. I'd rather just shoot people behind the dumpster.
Yeah, well, that's because that's the thing. The American court system, most court systems, with the exceptions of some like European court systems, are meant specifically to punish. They don't have the American court system has no focus whatsoever on rehabilitation.
Oh, hell no.
Nope.
No focus on rehabilitation.
And by the way, even after you get through and you are quote unquote rehabilitated, they still fucking treat you like a second class citizen.
Exactly.
Like I have friends who have been to prison, who have felonies, and who like and who have to navigate a whole extra fucking ton of bullshit if they want to get just like a normal job.
Life is fucking hard enough.
Yeah, not even like like they're going to be CEO of something, like to get a fucking
like flipping burgers.
Well, no, they take anybody, let's be honest. But to get a decent job, to get like a fucking project manager on a construction site job, something like that. You know what I mean?
Like I could have been in handcuffs a few times, got lucky.
I've been a couple times.
But I could have a criminal record. I don't, but there are certainly situations that could have ended that way.
Plenty of instances.
I wouldn't have the career that I've been in for over a decade now.
No,
I just wouldn't.
Yeah, that would have fucked you completely.
Yeah,
completely.
Just a prediction here that like a lot of the things that we talk about, this is probably going to be about just lining pockets, right?
Well, let's get into it, Drew.
I want to make a prediction as well.
Yeah.
Aside from just lining pockets, I think that the criminal justice system, specifically the prison system, leans so heavily on exacerbating the levels of cruelty that people want in their everyday lives that I think a lot of you'll be able to watch the trend over time of like the reason that this system is in place is because people think it hurts people, and that's a good thing
that's what
to
they
a
want,
lot
yeah.
of people. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people have a very sort of biblical justice way of looking at rehabilitation, which,
Yeah,
I
but-
mean, look,
You know, if somebody
if
hurt,
that's the way somebody wants to think about it, like, yeah, I
if somebody
haven't,
hurt like somebody you loved, then you would want to enact that yourself.
I haven't
right?
been the
But-
victim of anything horrific happening to myself or any of my family members, so I don't know. I'm not going to dictate how somebody feels about that. I will say, having paid a lot of attention to a lot of cases, you guys know that I like the true crime shit. A lot of times, man, honestly, even after the fucking court case is done and the perpetrator gets the sentence of, you know, death, or I mean, shit, even half the time after the death sentence is actually, when they're done with it, when it actually is carried out, the family comes out and goes, I mean,
That didn't do anything.
yeah, we're still
Sad. Our
Yeah.
fucking whatever horrifying thing happened.
Someone
still.
was
It
taken
didn't go
from
away.
us. Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make it better.
Yeah.
It's still, this whole fucking thing is tragic.
The whole point of the criminal justice system is to eliminate revenge, because it's justice. It's not a revenge system. It's a justice system.
Right.
Justice is supposed to do a balancing act. Yeah, it's supposed to equalize and bring things to a status quo.
Whoa,
Right?
is that why she's holding a scale?
Yeah, that's why.
I know. I'm
But
just
like
being a
vengeance,
smartass.
vengeance itself.
Wait, why is she holding a blindfold?
Because you're supposed to be impartial. Fuck.
Oh.
But like the idea of the system being used as vengeance is a way more prevalent idea in American society.
Yeah.
It's-
in more than just American society.
yeah,
in a lot
in
of
general,
societies,
yeah, like, you know.
And it breaks down, you know, even that idea of, you know, you've done harm, so you need to be harmed. It really breaks down when you get into
Eye for an eye is fucking kind of a human nature.
But
thing at
this whole
point.
pun-
I was gonna say it brings this whole sort of animalistic, like we still have this very animalistic
even
like
if you're
reaction to.
even if you're okay with that, it really starts to break down when there's no obvious victim.
yeah.
And people are still like, it's a punishment system. There's still that American mindset of like vengeance.
Like, I don't know that I could have this same conversation if tomorrow someone murdered both of my parents. You know what I mean?
yeah, well,
like,
that's-
this conversation would sound very
Yeah,
different.
but
coming
That's
from me.
why we've got a system in place for these kinds
Right,
of things. You know?
right.
But I think more.
But
you please.
But I mean, we could have the exact same conversation if a person was being punished for having a fucking dime bag, you know, like, and they're treated the same way, essentially, in a
Yes.
lot of ways.
Way to confuse all of our listeners under the age of 25.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They're right now Googling dime bag.
Nice. Slip me a Mickey at the sock hop.
Better call the paddy
Is a
wagon.
dime bag not a thing anymore? I haven't smoked weed in like 20 years.
That guy killed him on stage.
God. Oh, now you've confused everyone under 30. So we are going to get into one specific case of a leased convict now. I'm going to tell a couple stories, but one in particular that really put convict leasing on the main stage nationwide. And then, you know, we'll have some other shit interspersed in there. But this is the case that really sort of nailed the coffin shut on convict leasing, or at least this particular iteration of it, right? Spoiler alert. So we are going to talk about a 22-year-old young man named Martin Tabert.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Tabert, Tabert, Tabert. I'm going to probably call him Tabert.
Tabert.
I'm not going to call him that. Oui, Martin Tabert.
Martin Tabert.
This is one of those stories that, like I mentioned at the top, isn't a mainstream story. It's very obscure. I had to do a lot of diving and digging to get the information to put this all together, which I fucking love. Like doing the research for this episode has like very much reinvigorated me. I'm like amped for this. So okay, Martin Tabert. Martin is a farm kid from a town called Munich, North Dakota, right? He's born in 1988, right at the turn of the century. And he is the youngest boy of several kids growing up on his family's 560-acre farm in North Dakota.
You mean 1888?
1899.
1899.
What did I say?
You said 1988.
That's when we were born.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I can relate to some of this.
No.
1899.
1899. I flipped
The
them.
year of Jack the Ripper.
Yeah?
I think
I don't think so.
Year of-
Yeah.
1898, 1899.
Yeah.
1899, year of Arthur Morgan.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, he is, like I said, the youngest boy. And, you know, I don't know exactly how many siblings he had, but he's the youngest boy on this 560 acre farm. The problem with being the youngest boy,
1888. Sorry, Jack the Ripper, my bad. The problem with being this stupid boy.
the problem with being the youngest boy is at some point he's got older brothers that go off into the military. They go off to fight World War I. His sisters get married and move away. You know, like he is eventually left alone to do chores on a 560 acre farm pretty much by himself.
Damn.
Which
That's
sounds
a lot of acreage for one guy.
Sounds like a lot of fucking work. So in the fall of 1921, Martin is about 21 years old, 21, 22. One of the brothers comes back to the farm from World War I. And Martin's like, okay, well, the farm got more help now. I really want to travel and see the country and have some adventures. I've got some money saved up. I'm going to take a trip, right? It's getting fucking cold up here in North Dakota. I think I'll head down to Florida, right? Very, very cool kind of like we think about 1921, you know, he's fucking going to get on a train and go down to Florida and see the country on the way.
Big adventure.
His whole fucking life's been on this 568 acre farm, which I'm sure was fucking rad growing up. Also probably a lot of work.
Right.
But this is a fucking 21-year-old, 22-year-old kid that wants to see the world, which is cool.
Yeah. I've done that. I did that.
Yeah.
I went around the whole country in 21. It was great.
So he
Same.
makes this plan to head down to Florida and sort of see the sights along the way, take some part-time work along the way so he doesn't wipe out all of his savings. He gets a train ticket and spends the next couple months traveling south. He's taking jobs. He's seeing the country. He's having what I'd assume for a 22-year-old kid in the early 1900s, the exact adventure that he probably wanted to have, you know, and everything's going great until Martin gets to Florida. This is the part, Drew, where I said Florida would come back. So he gets into northern Florida, and at the time, there weren't a lot of job opportunities, right? So Martin was struggling to find something to keep him from running out of money. He finds out from some other guys that there are a lot more jobs in southern Florida, and that it's pretty common to just hop a train and get down there, right? Save the train fare, just get down there, make lots of money, and then do whatever the fuck you want from that point, right? So Martin weighs his options, right? He doesn't want to head back home already. He's been having a great time until now. He doesn't want to write back home asking for more money, right? Which I get. He's trying to be his own man. You know, this trip at 22, after years of backbreaking work on your family farm, I've got to assume there's a certain amount of like a, you know, this being like a journey of self-discovery and coming of age and all that shit. And, you know, like when I was that age and I kind of resolved to be my own man, I was the same way, like reticent about asking mom and dad for anything.
Yeah.
You know,
I lived in New York City at the time. I barely talked to my parents.
Yeah. So writing home for money is probably a bit of a blow to the ego. So Martin chooses option C, which is hopping a train from Tallahassee to, I believe, Fort Lauderdale area. I read it at some point in my research and I didn't write it down. And then when I went back to look for it, I couldn't
It's a
find.
fucking long train hop.
Yeah. Whatever. You'd probably hop on and off the whole way. You know?
I mean, I guess that
what
was
you
kind of
see.
the golden age of trains. So
Yeah, for real.
shit was just going all the time.
Yeah.
Back in my train hopping days, that was it was like a fucking week and a half journey.
Well, he's been stopping it. I mean, he's been getting off in places and working a little bit and then seeing the sights and then getting back on. He's just kind of hopping off and doing day labor stuff, which at the time was not an odd thing to do, especially for a young man his age. He had the fare all the way down to Florida, gets down to Florida, finds out, oh, there aren't really the opportunities here for me to do like day labor stuff and make money. If I stay here too long, I'm going to run out of money. So this is what
You're saying Jacksonville sucked back then too, huh?
well, he's like in Tallahassee area.
Oh,
I have to go to Tallahassee.
Tallahassee still
Thursday.
sucks too.
Tallahassee does suck. So, like I said, I think he was going to Fort Lauderdale area. I had a bunch of articles for this. I know I read it at some point. I went back to look and it was like too many articles to read through in their entirety again. So I didn't want to reread those. So I think it was Fort Lauderdale though. That's what stuck out in my mind. It actually doesn't matter because he never makes it. Instead, Martin is rounded up on December 15th in a Leon County mass arrest sweep for vagrancy.
Oh, damn.
The police arrest everyone who's on the train without a ticket, and they go before Leon County Judge B.F. Willis. Best friend Willis.
It's not what I was thinking.
Butt fuck Willis.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking too, but I tried to lighten it
I
up.
wasn't gonna say it, Riley.
Oh, I'm
Butt
sorry.
fucking Willis.
Fucking. You're right. We got to keep it PG. Peeny Vagini.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So Martin is obviously caught up in this. And when he goes before the judge, he, like everyone else who's arrested, is found guilty of vagrancy, given a $25 fine. Martin, like probably most of the people arrested, doesn't have the money to pay the fine.
Now he's hopping trains to fucking Tallahassee.
Yeah. So he's sentenced to serve 90 days in the county jail. Now, this is particularly shitty timing for Martin because earlier that year, 1921 is where we are, Leon County signed a contract with Putnam Lumber Company to supply them with convict labor, right? The contract was for anyone convicted of 90 days or more, and Putnam County would pay $20 a month, which amounted to $15 per prisoner per month after expenses, right? Going into the county's pocket, right? After the $5-ish of expenses, county's pocketing $15 per person per month.
Putnam County sucks too, by the way.
It's not Putnam County. This is Leon County.
There's Putnam shit all over Florida.
This is Putnam Lumber Company. Well, this was Putnam Lumber Company, which, by the way, when I was doing my research, was, at least at the time, based out of, I think, Wisconsin.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, it was just strange. But there is a Putnam County, Florida. It is the worst statistically. I mean, you just look.
Yeah, I think it's literally like one of the highest like crime rates, drug rates in the
drugs,
country.
Incest, STDs.
Incest, that's it. It's the number one incest county. Yeah.
Incest, STDs, spousal abuse. I mean, literally, just go down the list of the worst things you can think of. Putnam County is number one in Florida.
Still pay their first
responders
like $8.
My wife's from there. Yeah. Like I grew up in fucking Detroit in peak depression, and she tells me stories that fucking turn my hair.
It's a horrible place.
Yeah.
So, by the way, $15 per month is the equivalent in today's money of about $270
Damn.
per person per month. So the county's incentive to never sentence anyone to less than 90 days was, no money or 810 free monies.
Right.
What are you going to do? Like, what is your incentive to give anyone less than 90 days?
All you got to pay out is fried bologna or some bullshit.
Yeah. $270 a month for 90 days is fucking $810.
Yeah. Solid deal.
So maybe you don't, maybe you believe that doesn't matter, that some people are just incorruptible and that there's nothing wrong with making some kickbacks for a job well done. So let's look at the numbers, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
In the 7 months before this contract with Putnam Lumber, Leon County made 20 vagrancy arrests in 7 months, right? Slightly less than three arrests a month for vagrancy.
Let me guess.
In the 7 months later, after this was signed, there was an almost 800% increase in vagrancy arrests, 154 total, 22 a month, which is basically one a day if you take the weekends off.
Yeah. This is why what's the word? Incentive arrests are fucking evil.
So again, in today's money, that's $41,500 passive income for Leon County in 7 months. If I told you that I could get you $41,500 passive income in 7 months, you don't have to fucking do anything, I'm pretty sure anybody would say, yeah, please. Let's do that.
I'd say, hold on a second. Am I going to get that because you're like imprisoning people wrongly for things like vagrancy when they're really just passing through on a travel?
All you got to do is sign the paper and put them on a bus, brother.
Ugh, I'm not going to do it.
So Martin does not have the money to pay for this fine. He's given 90 days for vagrancy. He gets processed by the jail and immediately turned over to Putnam Lumber. He does, however, have a short, he's got enough money and like a short window to get a telegraph out to his family. So he sends a telegraph to his brother that reads, quote, "In trouble, need $50 to pay fine for vagrancy. Please wire money in care of sheriff." That's the whole telegram. After that, he's bussed off to one of Putnam's labor camps, or Putnam Lumber's convict camps. I called it a labor camp. They called it a convict camp. It's the same fucking thing. It's a fucking labor camp.
You could have used this opportunity as a great way to lose some weight, Like, you got to think positively about these things.
Remember when I said as convict leasing got popular in the South, they almost immediately became exactly like slave plantation, right? That was the model. Oh, by the way, also, if you're thinking Putnam Lumber, okay, he's going to spend 3 months cutting and hauling trees.
More like Putnam Lumber.
Think again. He was sent to one of their turpentine farms.
Oh, fuck.
Ugh.
which involves tapping pine trees for sap in waist-deep malaria-ridden swamps.
Jesus Christ. I thought it was you were going to milk the turpentine trees or something.
Well, and then you got to bring all that shit back. Then you got to fucking boil it down because you get like turpentine, like the two byproducts of
mineral
boiling,
spirits and
turpentine and pitch.
Yep.
Like pitch tar. So like there's all kinds of fucking just horrific shit to do that for free.
Yeah, fucking bad news bears. Like that's getting put in the fucking. Anybody ever watched Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome?
I have.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you know the pig slop like farms, the methane farms underneath the Thunderdome City?
Gross. Yes.
Or is it Junk City or whatever? Yeah, like that's like being put in that situation. There's even a character in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome who's like, yeah, I got sent down here for 10 days. It was 5 years ago. They're literally just farming shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So while Martin is off to this labor camp, his brother gets the telegraph, and he and his parents immediately send a check for either $50 or $75. There were some conflicting stories there, but either $50 or $75 to Sheriff J.R. Jones. Everybody goes by their first two initials in their last name. We got
A.H. Bowlby.
We got B.F. Willis and J.R. Jones. They send him $25 to pay the fine, $25 or $50 to get his ass back home, right? Sheriff Jones receives the letter with the check on December 26th, 11 days after Martin's arrest, and he returns it.
whoa.
Right? The Taberts get the letter back unopened, and on the envelope is stamped, returned to writer unclaimed from Tallahassee, Florida, by request of Sheriff, party gone.
Party gone.
That's all it says, right?
Are you saying that they just said, oh, I don't know where he is, this person
He's
that
gone.
was probably illegally arrested?
Jizz Roper. JR. Sorry. I was trying to think of butt fucking Jizz Roper. Okay.
Jizz Roper Jones and
Yeah.
butt fucking Willis.
There you go.
Jesus Christ. That's all they get, right? Remember, the way these contracts work is that these convicts are leased to private companies who are responsible for housing them, feeding them, everything. They are the wards of Putnam Lumber Company until their sentence is carried out. So 90 days, right? The Taberts don't know any of this. So when they get the letter back saying party gone, they assume that Martin somehow managed to get out of trouble on his own. Like, that's a very cryptic telegraph. His telegraph was cryptic, right? His telegraph was, in trouble, need $50 to pay fine for vagrancy. Please wire money in care of sheriff, right? They get back. So they get that. They send the check. They get back. Return to writer unclaimed from Tallahassee, Florida, by request of sheriff, party gone. They're kind of just like, okay, he must have figured it out. He must be out, right? About a month or so later, they receive a second letter from the Putnam Lumber Company. This letter informed them that Martin had been sentenced to serve 3 months in the county prison system and had been sent to Putnam Lumber Company's convict camp. The letter also stated that Tabert had developed a fever along with complications and had died.
Fuck.
Person gone means that he's no longer in the penal system. He's been leased out to a private company.
Party gone means he was gone from the sheriff's purview and he was leased out to Putnam Lumber Company. Now, these are people in North Dakota.
Like, even if he had paid the fine, he still would have been under lease to that company.
Well, no, the way it should have worked is the fine's paid, your debt's forgiven. That's the way that works.
He's no longer even in the system. He's with the private company now.
Right. But I mean,
because he's been leased for 3 full months.
I don't know.
And he died.
By the way, also unable to locate any of Martin's family. I don't know how, because they figured out where to send the goddamn letter. The company had carried out all burial arrangements. So they also buried their son somewhere in a
fucking pine swamp
wherever
somewhere in
the
Florida.
fucking Leon County or Columbia County or whatever adjacent county they were in.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. They said they carried out all the burial arrangements. Now the company officials were extending their sympathies to the Tabert family. So the Taberts...
This is where my, like, there should be no such thing as punishment, imprisonment fades out. Because if I think of myself in that spot, I'm like, who runs this company and how can I kill them?
I mean, yeah, probably. But I mean, the Taberts still don't really know they get this letter and they're like, what the fuck happened? 11 days between his arrest and the check getting there. Like, what the fuck happened? So they get their family lawyer to write letters to both Sheriff J.R. Jones and to the Putnam Lumber Company asking for details of what happened. Putnam Lumber responds saying that they have a labor contract with Leon County for all of its able-bodied male convicts and that a doctor had diagnosed Martin with a malaria fever. he wouldn't take his medicine as prescribed, and so he ended up contracting pneumonia, which is what killed him. They also said, this is how the letter concluded, quote, "We do not understand why the sheriff of Leon County should have told the people he had gone and did not accept the money for his release," end quote. Mm-hmm. So even Putnam Lumber is saying, at least as you know, this might just be them covering their asses legally. We don't know if you sent him a check why he said he was gone and didn't accept the money and release him from the contract.
Bullshit. They were like, "Oh, we're getting good work out of this guy.
Yeah.
Send that check back, Sheriff."
So they're immediately trying to pin the liability on the sheriff. Sheriff Jones responds saying that if there was any foul play, it was the company's fault. Jones pointed out that Tabbert was physically healthy when he was turned over to company officials, and he also admitted that, quote, "There was some money wired to him here after he was gone, but I could not get it as it was sent in his name, therefore I returned it." So he's trying to push liability off to Putnam Lumber.
This
Didn't he
is
say, like, send it to the sheriff?
yeah.
Care of the sheriff, yeah.
Which should have been fine
I'm
since
sure
he's
they
the
did
head
that.
of that branch of the legal department, right?
Probably the whole fucking telegraph was 2 sentences long. I mean,
Yeah.
in trouble, send me money, sheriff, care of sheriff.
Care of sheriff.
Care of sheriff.
This is really indicative of what it's like to work within any system that's got like fucking any Hydra system that's got 8 million heads, right? Like
Right.
this, like there are a bunch of different variations on that story with movies and books and all that kinds of shit about just literally just trying to get paperwork from one department
Yeah,
to another.
bureaucratic fucking
But
incompetence.
I work in fucking, I guess you go the private sector, right? Like I work in a corporate structure and things are hard enough to communicate one way. But when something goes wrong, everyone turns off their communication because it's no longer their responsibility.
Right.
Same thing in the healthcare system.
Exactly. It's moved out of my hands. If it was in my hands, it's because this person put it there.
I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
I'm going to delete that. That'll get me in trouble.
No, it's true. Anytime that there's like a multiple branches in a company or an organization where you're supposed to get
it's
something
bureaucratic
going,
malfeasance.
Yeah,
It's just-
exactly.
it's-
Bureaucratic malfeasance. But then like there's just one of the many insidious and evil things about the way the world works right now and has for the past 100 some odd years, I guess, is like big corporate overreach in general always has plausible deniability for culpability in any respect.
Right, because there's so many fucking...
Right. This is why a fucking healthcare CEO got gunned down in the street in New York. Yep. Because at a certain point, when you can't even find somebody who's culpable, the person that's culpable is the person at the top.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, at any rate...
Not endorsing that publicly here on the radio.
At any rate, the Tabberts at least had some answers, right? Martin had been convicted and sentenced to 90 days. He'd been leased out to Putnam Lumber. He had contracted malaria and pneumonia and died quickly, right? The check being sent back was a tragedy. The whole fucking thing was a tragedy. But again, it amounted to just fucking ineptitude, just bureaucratic
Super
malfeasance, like we said.
The horribly depressing thing is that like I can see this 100 years ago being such like a massive thing to think about morally.
Yeah.
But like it's literally it's a not even a minor news footnote today in any respect.
Yeah, well,
like it's nothing worse than something I saw today like on fucking Facebook, you know?
Who's to say he even died of malaria either? If they
He's probably fucking died of inhaling
right.
fucking what was it?
What could have been anything? They
Turpentine.
buried him.
Would you guys like to know?
Yeah. I'm guessing.
So the Tabberts are mourning the loss of their son, and a few months later, they get another letter, this time from a guy named Glenn Thompson. Thompson wrote a letter to the Munich, North Dakota postmaster asking if the parents of Martin Tabbert knew or cared to know about the particulars of their son's early death. So the postmaster brings them this letter, and they're immediately like, God damn it, we knew something was fucking fishy.
Uh-huh.
So they write a letter back to Thompson asking, what is it that he knows? Turns out Thompson knows a lot. Thompson was also a convict, ex-convict now, who was leased to Putnam Lumber and was present for Martin's death.
You're so used to saying Putnam County that it's just fucking...
Yeah.
I keep trying to say Putnam Labor instead of Lumber, Putnam, I don't know, it's just Putnam everything.
Putnam Country.
He was leased to Putnam Lumber and was present for Martin's death, which I think at this point of the story, we're just going to start referring to it as Martin's murder.
Right.
Enter into our story a man named Walter Higginbotham.
Oh, that's a name.
Higginbotham is employed at this particular convict camp as a whipping boss.
Ooh, I was thinking like, is this going to be a Higginbotham or a Higginbotham?
He's a Higginbotham.
There's a lot of Higginbothams.
Yeah, there are a lot. Yeah.
Higginbotham. That's a boss hog. What's his first name?
It's not Higginbotham.
No, what's his first name?
Walter
Higginbotham.
Hog.
The Walter Higginbotham, the whipping boss.
Yeah.
That's a boss hog. Yeah. You call that guy boss hog for sure. Right? I mean, like that's 100%. He wears a fucking hat and he sweats out in the sun. He's like, get over there.
Yeah. So in case anybody didn't believe me when I said that these labor camps employed, slavery
villains from Captain Planet.
Slavery era tactics, they have a whipping boss, and this is the guy. So Thompson stated that he witnessed, quote, many tortures in the convict camp. Specifically with regard to Martin Tabbert, he told them about how Martin's feet had started to swell because of the condition of his shoes from being submerged in swamp water for most of the day. When he asked Higginbotham for bigger shoes, he was ignored. The swelling continued and he ended up having swelling and pain in his groin. At some point, a doctor has to come and lance something in his groin. I didn't get the specifics on that, but he lances something in his groin, leaves him with medicine to take. Not sure what needed to be lanced. This is also from what Glenn Thompson witnessed, so he probably didn't know what was lanced either. But if something needs to be lanced, that means you've got an infection.
Yeah.
And you probably don't need to be waist deep in swamp water. Either way, Martin was forced to keep working, and shortly after was severely beaten by Higginbotham for working too slow. According to Thompson, Higginbotham had given Martin 35 to 50 licks before some 85 convicts using a 4-inch strap weighing 7.5 pounds. We'll get into that in a second.
Holy shit, dude.
When Tabbert begged Higginbotham to stop, the whipping boss put his feet on Martin's neck to keep him from moving out of position as he whipped. In spite of his physical condition, Tabbert was forced to continue working, but shortly afterward, Martin's condition deteriorated and he died without a struggle. Now, we're going to talk about Black Auntie. That's the whip that Higginbotham used. It's called a Black Auntie. It's a leather whip measuring 5.5 feet in length and weighing 7.5 pounds.
Like a fucking
It's a fucking whip.
like a bull whip,
It's
like
a
an
bull
Indiana
whip.
Jones whip.
It's 5.5 feet and 7.5 pounds.
Holy shit.
Which is a thick ass fucking leather whip.
Especially to fucking beat an injured person 35 times with
They
it.
refer to it as a strap in most of these a lot, but it's a fucking whip, right? Like I said, he gets fucking beaten a whole bunch, ends up dying. The doctor then came and, in spite of Martin's condition, attributed the death to, quote, pernicious malaria. Thompson also informed the Tabbert family that Martin had probably written more letters to his family requesting help, but that all letters were read coming in and going out, and if the letter requested money, it probably would have never gone out because Putnam Lumber doesn't want to lose its labor force. They don't want their fucking labor force decimated by people with families who can pay fines.
This is so like fucking insidious.
Well, and by the way, think about, because there were several deaths. It was common for people to die. But you got to think about, this is a 22-year-old kid that comes from like a farm in North Dakota. He's got parents, he's got siblings. He comes from a tight family. He just wanted to go out and have an adventure. Right. Now think about all the people who have families that are torn apart or, not fucking doing, mom's on fucking who knows what, addicted to morphine or whatever was the drug of the time. Kids who have just fucking slipped through, who don't have parents, who are already like doing crimes, who probably did legitimate crimes.
Florida Panhandle out in that area is kind of notorious for labor camps involving children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, think about how many of those deaths would have never been investigated. This one would have never been investigated if Glenn Thompson, the ex-convict, hadn't written that letter to his parents, which he must have just learned from Tabbert. Hey, I'm from Munich, North Dakota. Because this guy wrote a letter to the postmaster saying, hey, do Martin Tabbert's parents know or wish to know what happened actually?
Yeah.
If that hadn't happened, none of this shit happens. None of what we're about to talk to happens. Obviously, now the Tabbert family wants to find out what the fuck the truth is, right? Were the sheriff and Putnam Lumber Company telling the truth, or was Thompson? Like, maybe Thompson's just a disgruntled ex-prisoner trying to get back at Putnam Lumber. Mm. Either way, we've got a dead kid and a whole fuck ton of unanswered questions, right? So the Tabberts keep digging and they find other ex-convicts who either witnessed Martin's death or attest to the general hell that was Putnam Lumber's convict camp, that specifically this convict camp, because they had several. One former convict confirmed that Tabbert had died a, quote, horrible death and said that he had been whipped unmercifully and, quote, barbarously. Barbarously? Is that what it is? Barbarously murdered. Do you want to edit that out and I sound smart, or do you want to keep it and
I'll leave
I
it.
sound dumb?
Depends on how I'm feeling about you that day.
One former convict confirmed that Tabbert had died a horrible death and said that he had been whipped unmercifully and barbarously murdered.
Fuck, now it sounds like I'm laughing at fuck.
Why are you laughing at me? One former convict confirmed. Fuck me. One former convict. I keep fucking it up further and further. Eventually, I'm going to say one wrong.
What's funny is you didn't even have. Now you have to do it because it's so mishmashed up.
Yeah.
But you didn't have to do that. I can just splice the sentence
It's fine. I'm
together.
going to do the whole thing.
Okay.
One former convict confirmed that Tabbert had died a horrible death and said that he had been whipped unmercifully and barbarously murdered, quote unquote, barbarously murdered. Right?
Are you saying barbarously?
Barbarously.
Thank you.
He was murdered by a barber. His barber. My barber.
He was boobaliciously murdered.
Other letters confirmed that the men worked waist deep in swamp water. Quote, it poisoned the men. Their feet became sore and their bodies were often a mass of sores and nothing was done for them. End quote. Other letters noted that Tabbert was too sick and weak to do the work demanded and that he frequently had been knocked down and whipped. The other men were similarly treated. One former inmate wrote that he would carry to his grave, quote, scars on his back caused by beatings from the brute Higginbotham, the whipping boss. So, obviously, the more the Tabberts here, the more it seems pretty fucking evident that there's some fuck shit happening down here in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
A statement that still holds historical relevance even today.
Florida is...
Florida. It seems pretty evident that there's some fuck shit happening down here. Could be our state's motto.
That really could be. Obviously some fuck shit going on. But yeah, I think that it should be noted that everybody's got a little comment to have about, Florida man, or like shit's so weird down there. No, there is some fuck shit going on in Florida all the time.
Yeah,
for sure.
Of all the states, I guess... Yeah, I would say, it's definitely Florida.
It's up there.
You're going to think about some fuck shit.
There's
like,
others.
yeah, but it's
some
like,
fuck
if you're
shit.
like, I'll bet you there's some fuck shit going on, and it's always going to be Florida first. Like, made that and
if somebody's
Washington.
finishing
You
that
know,
sentence, they're
you know
gonna say
why?
Florida.
Because population-wise, Florida has more people than the other states you would think of that have the fuck shit.
Yeah, like
Like
North
the
Dakota or
Oklahomas
whatever.
and like the Oklahomas and the Alabamas and all that shit.
The biggest reason the Florida man thing became a trend is that Florida's like crime reporting laws are very liberal.
Yeah.
So other states, they might not put all the weird shit.
Did you guys hear we had a fucking I might have actually posted this in the group chat. We had a hot Florida man moment in St. Augustine here. I think for New Year's.
I didn't see that.
There was a mobile sheriff's unit parked at the fort downtown. And a shirtless meth head fucking stripped all the copper wire out of it, baby.
Wow.
Classic. Buddy of mine sent me that. I was like, fuck yeah, we still got him.
There's a couple reasons why I think there's always
Your
some fuck
copper
shit.
wiring's still not safe, bitch.
I'm just saying Florida's definitely fucking weird.
There's a couple
but-
reasons. There's a couple reasons. So the other states that I think full of fuck shit and Florida man types, right? West Virginia is definitely one of them.
Sure.
Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Oklahoma's got a lot of fucking methy shit.
I think Nevada's got a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, anywhere you go outside of Las Vegas. But the thing is, we have a way bigger population, so just per capita, it's going to happen more. Also, Florida's a fucking transient state. We have so many people coming here from so many places all the time. So
Also,
It's cold
transients.
other places.
also transit.
We literally have transients that come just to Florida because it's fucking cold.
Because it's
This
warmer
is
here.
one of Drew and I both were, like in like the traveling circles with the like humbums and the traveling kids, and like you just get thousands of just tattooed yahoos coming through Florida
For
every
sure.
year.
I mean, when I was doing that, I was in Asheville, New Year's Eve going into 2009, freezing my ass off in a car with a dog. I'm like, fuck this. Let's go back to Florida. We ended up going to the Rainbow Gathering.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's sort of a perfect
Rainbow Gathering is actually indicative of that whole thing.
it's
You know the Rainbow Gathering?
Rainbow Gathering is some fuck shit, yeah.
Yeah, it's the traveling Yahoo.
Yeah.
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 Essentially, it's a homeless party. It's a
Pretty
big,
much.
crazy
Pretty much, yeah.
homeless
Yeah.
person party in
Yeah.
the woods. Yeah.
It was fun and gross and horrifying,
Yep.
and but there were good things too. It was, it was,
Yeah,
it
I guess
was
depending
wild.
on your state of mind, fun could be one of the words. I feel like the other two I would definitely resonate with me. I don't know that it would go with fun.
It's a youthful adventure, fun experience for sure.
Youthful adventure, yes.
As a 30-something-year-old person with a family, it'd be like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
No, I'm not even getting out of the car. What are you talking about?
Well, okay.
Nobody's getting out of the car. Matter of fact, lock the doors. We're peeling out.
There's like different segments. Like they got the front gate crew. And that's like to scare people off. That's all the really crazy fucks are out there, and they drink out of front gate. But then you get deeper in there, and people aren't even really drinking. Like, yeah, they're smoking some pot, but it's mostly like they're like making food and playing music and shit. Like,
all right.
At least that's the one that I've been to. That's
and then they're gonna have real stinky, weird sex right in the public.
There's a lot of that
in the open, in the mud.
No, there wasn't people fucking out in the open when I was there.
It's a very gathering of the juggalos.
Buddy, if you've never hung out with people like that, you've seen them fuck in public.
I've seen plenty of people fuck.
So back to the Taberts, right? They are now convinced, like I said, there's some fuck shit happening down here. And so they convince the North Dakota state attorney to investigate. And he does. And he does not come back with good things to say.
Yeah, I'll bet.
This state attorney, Grimson.
Because of the murders.
Yeah, Grimson is his last name. He pretty much lambasted Putnam Lumber as a company that increased its profits, quote, by the labor of unfortunate men picked up and forced into their custody through trivial violations of the law of the state of Florida. And he equated Sheriff Jones to a modern day slave catcher.
Yep.
Grimson creates a Martin Tabbert committee to present his findings to the North Dakota legislature. After everything comes out, right, they investigate all this stuff, everything comes out, the North Dakota legislature demands that Florida conducts an investigation and punishes the responsible parties, specifically Sheriff Jones and Putnam Lumber, as they charge that the sheriff and the lumber company were involved in a conspiracy to arrest and convict men for minor offenses. The company acquired a cheap labor supply. The sheriff received cash compensation, and Martin Tabbert, as we'll find out, like lots of men, had been the victim of this conspiracy.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is a far stretch. I don't think it's a stretch at all. As a matter of fact,
I think it's fucking right on the money.
It's a very fair statement. Surprisingly, the governor of Florida took this very seriously. He didn't want Florida's reputation tarnished. The convict leasing program had already been criticized for years.
You should only be enslaving and murdering people from in the state.
We don't know who their parents are. Make sure to do a thorough background check. No, the convict leasing program at this point in Florida had already been, well, everywhere in the country, had been criticized for years, right? Again, though, by the people holding signs going, please don't do it anymore. You know what I mean? Nobody in power was willing to change the status quo.
Yeah.
So now that this has happened, now the governor's going, okay, like this, enough is enough, right? So he has an investigation conducted, and by April 23rd of 1922, Walter Higginbotham is on trial for murder. Putnam Lumber is under indictment and faces a $50,000 civil lawsuit from the Tabbert family. Leon County Sheriff J.R. Jones is saying that he wants a full investigation because he's confident that he will be exonerated. Never heard that before.
Right. I am the law.
So here's a quick timeline, right? April 10th, Walter Higginbotham is formally charged by a grand jury, right? April 17th, J.R. Jones has to go before the state legislative committee, and deny any culpability. Insanely, he admits to the deal with Putnam Lumber, and he tells them that it's $20 per month per man. Remember, this is the deal that Leon County made with Putnam Lumber. So the state, or at least the county, was fully aware. The state's a little wonky when you get into all these. Really, the people that took the most license with sort of just like not having much oversight, the least amount of oversight was happening at the county level,
right?
Because the county commissions could be like, okay, yeah, we'll sign a contract with you.
Yeah, they were acting like they were like kings of Leon or something.
You mean a shitty YouTube ripoff?
I hate that one so much.
I don't know what you mean. I don't.
So a lot of the biggest grievances,
Bonner, they fucking sucked.
a lot of the biggest grievances happened at the county level, not at the state level.
First two albums are pretty good though.
So yeah, Sheriff Jones owns his part, but he says that beyond that, it's fully Putnam Lumber's problem. Judge B.F. Willis also appears before the legislative committee. Remember him?
Yeah, Buttfuck Willis.
Well, he admits during questioning that there was no lawyer present to represent Martin Tabbert. He admitted to guilt like everyone else in the courtroom that day, but no one was there to walk him through his rights, probably because Leon County has a financial investment in getting as many people sentenced to 90 days or more as they can. And that's why you can't have fucking programs like this.
Yeah. Yeah, incentive-based arrests.
He didn't have a fucking lawyer present.
Well, you remember, like, we were having, I guess, was this on our last episode or the last one we released, I think, where I think we were talking about, like, Carl Reiner's kid being on trial for
Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner. Yeah, Carl Reiner's kid was Rob Reiner. And then, but Rob Reiner's son being on trial for murder, and you kind of iterated that, like, well, he fucking murdered him. And I'm like, well, we can't say that shit because of the system. Well, like, the reason I'm so adamant about stuff like that is, like, just little things like, you know, the fucking innocent to proven guilty are also applied to, like, you
were
have to have
talking
a
about that, and Drew and I were saying, well, that's not the way it works so much anymore.
Yeah, but my adamance is always based in something like, like, you need to have a lawyer present.
That is the way it's supposed to work.
Innocent until proven guilty. This is the only way the system works.
By the way, Drew, to our point about that's not the way it works anymore, we're looking at a case from fucking 1922.
Yeah. That's never the way it fucking works.
Yeah, but that was my point as well. Was like also that, like, we always have to hammer home this ideology, or else it's never going to be done. Like
100%.
fucking
100%.
Sure.
So
because these motherfuckers.
By the way, there's also a former Leon County jailer who testified before the committee that Sheriff Jones and Putnam Lumber had such a lucrative operation going that men being charged with vagrancy were told by the sheriff and his deputies to plead guilty before going before the judge, and that they very frequently had trials late at night where they were presided over by drunk court officials.
Damn.
So they were deliberately not
in Taiwan and
they were deliberately
fuck this guy.
Not appointing lawyers. They were deliberately saying, hey, just plead guilty. And they'd convene the court late at night. They'd be like, hey, Willis, come on, we gotta go. We got 11 guys picked up for vagrancy.
Hurry it up, plead guilty. We gotta
finish your fucking shot, dude. Come on, we gotta go. I don't give a fuck who you are or where you stand on anything. It's very obviously like just a gross miscarriage of fucking the way our justice system is supposed to work. So
I mean, also as a subversion of it, really, more than anything, is like
deliberate. Yeah, very deliberate.
The system is simple, as complicated as it is, as many facets and rules and laws and different things you have to follow. And
by the way, as much as they can be a pain in the ass when someone is very clearly guilty, like there are cases where someone is very, very, very clearly guilty.
Yeah,
you know, either through eyewitness, whether through their own admission, whether through the evidence, whether through a combination of all three of those things, someone is very clearly guilty. You still have to go through the steps. And by the way, if you fuck something up as a prosecutor, that is still a mistrial. That's just the way the fucking rules work, even when it's frustrating.
Is what it is.
It's so that you don't put fucking people who are innocent of crimes in fucking prison.
The system is set up in a way that is, yes, it does have many facets. It's very complicated, but the baseline of it is so simple that any child could understand it at a glance. This person, somebody said he did this. This person said that they did this. This person works for that person. This person works for that person. There you go.
Yeah.
Fucking that simple.
Well, anyway, when this committee, this is the Florida Legislative Committee, when they present its findings on April 24th, they strongly recommend that both Sheriff Jones and Judge Willis be removed
behind a dumpster.
Be removed from their positions. As for Walter Higginbotham,
whipped until he's dead.
The committee hears testimony about his involvement as a whipping boss for Putnam Lumber. This is at the same time that his criminal trial was taking place. So I'm just going to do some of the committee testimony because it was probably the same people saying a lot of the same things in both, right?
Hold on a second. I could probably ad-lib some of this. I bet you I'll hit it right on the head. Boss Hogg would be doing the whipping. It'd be hot out and there'd be blood in the sand. That's what I got.
I feel like that impression was problematic, but I like
it was a white person I was impersonating.
So during this testimony, there's an 18-year-old kid named John Gardner who testified that he was whipped 3 times within 1 week, each time with 50 licks.
Fuck, dude.
It was Higginbotham doing the whipping. He was the only one doing the whipping, right? Gardner also added a fun detail.
That Higginbotham had a raging boner.
That Higginbotham would drag the strap through sugar and salt between licks. which is a fucking fresh level of sadism that I don't think I would have thought of.
Jesus Christ.
Every time he'd bring the whip back for a fresh lick, he'd drag it through
raging
sugar
boner.
and sand. So,
That was a fucking serial killer.
or I'm sorry, sugar and salt. Did I say sand or salt?
He said
Sugar
salt
and
at
salt.
first, and then he said sand, and
Sugar
now he's
and
saying
salt.
again.
Yeah.
So you're in the fucking swamps.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think having
All right,
sugar?
get all sugared up.
What do you think
in your
having
wounds
sugar
and get back
all
in the
over your
swamp
fucking-
Yeah,
edge.
salt in the wound already,
Yeah.
and the
Salt-
sugar is going to attract fucking bugs and
Salt is
flies.
gonna burn like a bitch, and sugar is gonna attract fucking insects.
Yeah, and you have fucking maggots in your open back wounds.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. Like I said, fresh level of sadism that I
That guy's a
am not
fucking, that's a
capable of.
serial killer. Like, that's exactly what that is.
It literally
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
killed multiple people.
Yeah,
Kill more than
this is
kill
this,
3 people.
This is that function of, we talked about this actually on the John Oda
I
Robinson.
can't say definitively, but this
we know we killed at least
particular
that one guy.
this particular convict camp had like people dying was a regular occurrence.
Yeah.
And he's the only one whipping people.
And he's the only one. He's the only whipping boss there.
Yeah.
so he
and,
killed a bunch of people.
and
So
it's also
probably, yes.
like, you think
Fucking serial killer.
about that kind of punishment too. That doesn't increase somebody's efficacy. That's not going to make somebody work
no,
harder.
he just
Literally makes them work.
Yeah, and that he hurts
got-
them,
literally
hurts them
injures
bad,
them.
Hurts them bad the one time, then they're slowed down and they can't work fast enough, so he hits them again, and then he just keeps doing it until they're fucking dead. That's a serial killer.
yeah.
In the
He just wanted
system.
to fuck him up. He probably had his other hand in his pocket, jerking his little tiny
I think
cock.
right. He's just
Yeah.
on the John Edward Robinson episode, I think we talked about how like most of the people that are sadistic and horrifying like that have worked within the system.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's how you do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
They fucking,
That's how you get your victims.
you know, like Drew, the way you kill your patients.
Definitely taking that out.
Gardner also testified at one point. This is an 18-year-old kid, right? Testified that at one point he had been whipped so badly and so frequently that he couldn't lie on his back for 30 days.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Gardner also describes being present for Martin's last whipping, which resulted in his death shortly after. Higginbotham's defense is that he was just doing his job, man. He was told by a guard that Martin was shirking his duties and not working quickly enough. So, according to Higginbotham, he determined that Tabbert was slacking. But he had been sick and had a doctor visit him recently, so he only administered a, quote, light whipping of 10 licks. Just 10 licks with a 5.5 foot, 7 pound whip.
Yeah, a fucking bull whip.
Just
like,
10. Just 10. He denied ever putting his foot on Martin's neck to keep him in position to be whipped.
And even if he did, that standard police procedure.
Yeah. He's not a cop, though.
The problem
He's
is,
not a fucking cop, right?
he's not a cop.
No.
He's just some dickhead who works for a fucking
I didn't say he was.
corporation
I
or
said
company.
that was standard police
I know.
procedure.
The problem is Higginbotham is not the only Putnam Lumber employee at this place, and he must not have been very likable because other guards came forward to testify against him. One of the guards, first 2 letters and a last name, AP Shivers.
All right, let's
ass
hear it.
play shivers.
Well, this guy is doing a good job, so we're not going to give him
It
two
doesn't
letters.
matter. He's got 2 initials.
There's
for
nothing
his
wrong
name.
with a little
He's
ass
into
play.
ass play.
Yeah.
Ass play Shivers testifies and basically contradicts everything that Higginbotham claimed. He says that Martin was a healthy young man when he arrived, but pretty quickly was, quote, suffering with running sores on his legs, and his legs were so swollen that he, quote, could hardly drag around. On the day when he was given the critical beating that killed him, the men had been marched 2 miles to the swamp where they were working, and Martin was not physically able to keep up. So when the convicts returned to camp that night, this is AP Shivers' account, quote, Higginbotham pulled up his shirt. He gave him about 30 licks as Tabbert groaned and screamed for mercy. Tabbert kept on twitching his body, so Higginbotham placed the heel of his boot on the youth's neck to make him keep his body rigid. He then gave him about 40 or 50 more licks. Higginbotham told Tabbert to get up, and the boy was a little slow about it, so Higginbotham said, "You can't work yet, huh?" and pushed the boy down on the ground. This time he gave him about 25 licks. He told Tabbert to get up, and when this is notated, when the secretary straightened up, it was probably something he said that was mistranslated, but when he straightened up, Higginbotham made a pass at him with the handle of the strap. He missed him, and Tabbert staggered around in a half circle, with Higginbotham hitting him over the head and shoulders. Afterward, Tabbert was unable to move from his cot, and the odor coming from his quarters was very offensive. Rotting flesh, probably pissed himself, shit himself, who the fuck knows. Higginbotham looked in on Tabbert.
Necrosis smells bad.
Yeah. Higginbotham looked in on Tabbert, and later he told Shivers that he thought the boy might die. Martin died the following night. So he looked in on him.
He's like, yeah, you're going to die.
He looked in on him 24-ish hours before he died and said, yeah, I think he's going to die. Think about how fucking jaded you are. Think about how many people you have had to have done this to.
Yeah.
To not be like, hey, call a doctor. Hey, let's do like, to be like, yeah, he's probably going to die.
Well, then to just not call a doctor.
That's not the first time that's happened.
No, not at all.
If that's your reaction.
So that's something that he fucking enjoys doing. You don't whip somebody 75 times for being sick unless you really like it.
We've got 30 licks initially, then the heel on his neck, another 40 or 50. So what are we up to? 75 to 85. Then pushed him down, gave him another 25 licks. So we're over 100. We're over 100.
Yeah.
Then when he stood up, he started beating him with the hilt of the whip.
For how many horrible things we talk about, this one's like really getting to me.
Yeah, well, it's because the inhumanity of the system in general. Like
It's because we've been doing lighthearted ones for a while.
Well, that, and it's just like,
well, I think
it kind of just hits close to home for some reason, because I feel like some version of this still exists.
Yeah, and more than that, like it's where we live. But also, you have been a version of this character before.
That's
just
true.
Just a traveling.
That's true.
Just
if
somebody
I'd been doing that shit 100 years earlier.
Yeah, no bad intentions, just going on an adventure.
Yeah,
and
I never hurt anybody or anything.
Yeah,
you know?
you get John Rambo'd somewhere, and then they just fucking
Over getting on a train without a ticket.
Yeah, well, it's like, you ever see Cool Hand Luke? You probably haven't seen it.
Yes,
I know. You have?
Uh-huh.
I love Cool Hand Luke. Good movie, but it's very similar to this kind of story, because what Luke, I think he.
Do you know that jail was actually modeled after a jail in Jacksonville?
Yeah, I did know that.
Sunbeam Prison.
Yeah,
in Jacksonville. Yeah.
But like do you know Cool Hand Luke, Drew?
No, I don't think I've actually seen it.
It's the story of, I want to say, fucking the guy has a pretty silly like a charge. Like, he fucking is drunk and he like cuts a fucking like a traffic meter or some shit, and he gets put in a prison similar to this, except he keeps like fucking with the guards again and again, and he becomes like the symbol of rebellion and yada yada yada.
This is actually
trying to escape.
This is actually the convict from Sunbeam Road. His name was Arthur Malafert, who is Cool Hand Luke was based off of.
Makes sense. But yeah, at the end of it,
22, 23-year-old kid. He was an actual. I mean, he not that this justifies anything, but he did have a slew of crazy charges.
Yeah, but on Luke's like whatever fucking dozenth escape attempt or something like that, they just fucking kill him. Yeah. That's the movie.
Yeah,
cool.
So
I don't have to watch it. Thank you.
Good flick.
By the way, the committee also questioned the doctor who said that it was pneumonia brought on by malaria.
Yeah, that's a bad
Remember
doctor.
that guy?
That's a pretty bad doctor.
This
pneumonia
dude,
brought on by malaria and maybe the 100 plus lash marks on his body.
And all the maggots in his back.
Yeah.
This dude tried to say, well, it was actually syphilis, but I didn't want to report that to his family because the embarrassment they might have felt.
Oh, that's still a bad doctor, even if that were true.
Yeah.
The committee's, I think the 100 plus lashings probably had something to do, even if he did have malaria and syphilis and pneumonia, the 100 plus lashings definitely contributed something.
Yeah.
Didn't help him heal, that's for sure.
It's not a, yeah.
Yeah. So the committee, by the way, sends the state board of medical examiners his testimony with the recommendation that, quote, the medical profession be purged of a seemingly unworthy member.
I would agree.
I almost said worthless.
It's
also accurate.
It's a very clinical way to say, fuck this asshole.
Get this guy out of your fucking...
Take him behind the dumpster.
I'm getting on board with this, right?
You see what I'm saying? Because like, what are you gonna,
after hearing it you say it every other episode for a year.
Get fucking Higginbotham there. Like,
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
You could punish him. Yeah, what are you gonna punish him worse than he punished those people?
No, it just
Never.
needs to be removed from existence.
Never, exactly. He's never gonna be rehabbed, and if he were to be rehabbed, he still deserves it.
See, again, from a state sanctioned perspective, I don't think that's cool. I think if you give Martin Tabbert's dad the gun and show him the dumpster,
yeah,
okay, whatever you decide, bud. Whatever you decide.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I also think that guy's got to go. Just fucking.
Speaking of Higginbotham, his trial ends in a conviction of second degree. So they tried him for first degree murder. He ends with a conviction of second degree murder, which I think is probably more accurate. I don't think
that's fair.
Sought out to kill him.
I think he
he
did.
was just
Personally,
I
but-
disagree. I think he did.
I think he was just a fucking psychopath. I don't think it was premeditated. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. I think he just
I mean, give a kid a fucking ant farm. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. Either way, he was convicted of second-degree murder, sentenced to 20 years in prison.
Tell me he died there.
No, unfortunately, I don't think he served even a single second of that.
God damn it.
From the info I could find, it looks like he appealed the ruling. I have that he was released on a $10,000 bond. I think pending the appeal.
Sorry, Riley and I are pantomiming, taking somebody behind a dumpster. And
it was cute. I held up my hand like a gun, and then I pretended to cock it like, and then Drew's just like pointing. He's like, over there.
I have that he was released on a $10,000 bond. I think this was pending his appeal. This goes all the way to the Florida State Supreme Court, and they called for a retrial based on the change of venue. So I think they originally they did a change of venue because this was too big. Like literally.
He's whipped too many people in Florida.
No. This was like national headlines, right? The convict leasing program in Florida was over, I think, before this fucking trial was even over. If not, maybe it might have been a little bit afterward, but it was very quickly after all this shit came to light. Like literally newspapers in every major, New York, Chicago, like everywhere across the country. This was a big story. I think even a newspaper in New York might have even won a Pulitzer for their coverage of this story. I can't remember which newspaper, but so I think because it was such a big story, they did a change of venue to Columbia County, maybe. So basically based on a technicality, the Florida State Supreme Court vacated that conviction and called for a retrial in Dixie County, which I think is where it happened. And I don't believe that retrial ever happened. Or if it did, he was found not guilty. So this was all in early 1925. So if he bonded out, it stands to reason that he'd be free for that year and a half of appeals. So I don't think he ever had to be in prison for the death of Martin Tabbert.
Jesus Christ. You know, I think about stuff like that, and like there, but for the grace of God go I, in many ways, like I'm glad I never got fucking whipped to death in prison or whatever.
Yeah.
But also like, I think of like,
you know what? Me too, dude. I'm glad
right?
you never got whipped to death in prison.
Right. But like, I think I've been through some horrible things in my life. We all have, there's always like some horrible circumstances, but just thinking of like, as a family member of that young man, to know that person didn't get punished, I think that would be in my head. I just have to be like, well, here goes my life then. I'm gonna have to.
I'm getting on the next train down to
so this is what the end of my story
my son
is.
like,
Exactly.
Or my brother or
it's
one
just
of you guys or
I
whatever,
just think about it like like that is where I guess I'll sign off, because like because everybody's waiting for that one thing, right? Like there's that one moment that you're like, well, I guess that's my purpose. Okay. But that would have to be it for me. Fuck.
Well, the Tabbert family did receive $20,000 of their $50,000 civil suit against Putnam Lumber.
They want 25 of their $150,000.
$20,000 of a $50,000. So, but
almost half.
$20,000 in. I'll do it real quick.
You can buy like 3 sons for that.
I mean, it's the equivalent. It's buying power, the equivalent of about $400K.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like enough.
I mean, not like there's a monetary.
So their lawsuit was for the equivalent of $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, ish. Yeah. So they won that. They were able to. I'm not sure that I can call it a good thing. Maybe just a silver lining in an otherwise jet black cloud. They were able to exhume Martin's body and bring it back to North Dakota. And this story, everything we just went over with Martin Tabbert, like I said, blew up national headlines. Every newspaper, everything was like keeping up the details and investigation in the trial of Walter Higginbotham. A lot of people had no idea that this convict leasing thing was going on, or maybe didn't know the extent of it or the horror surrounding it. Now everybody knew. So the backlash was real as fuck. Florida started investigating every county. Like I said, that's where the real abuses were happening, was on the county level more so than the state level. And they were finding all kinds of horrific shit. I was going to do another story about a kid named, what was his name? It was like Paul Revere Jones or some shit like that. Paul Revere White. Pretty gruesome story too. He did not die, but he came real fucking close. This wasn't related to Putnam Lumber. This was a different company, but different whipping boss, same shit. So yeah, I mean, this literally by, I think 1923 is when the last state abolished convict leasing.
Something like that. I was reading about it earlier.
Yeah, abolished convict leasing to private corporations, right?
Yeah, but
so this is the crux of it, right? Because I don't want to step on any toes here. John Oliver did a piece about what do they call it now? Work release programs.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think we're stepping on John Oliver's toes, but
I think he's fine.
Fuck that idiot.
I like last week with John.
I did
yeah,
too.
everybody
I did
knows
too.
John
I
Oliver's
did.
like he's one of our only reliable news sources in this fucking country. Actually,
Yeah, but fuck him.
I mean, I would.
did
I
it better.
absolutely would. I bet he's gentle.
I'm hoping maybe he hears this and then he's
What
like,
if he's not gentle? What if he fucks like a lion? And it's just like, holy shit, John Oliver.
He's got like a fucking massive
I
hog.
fucking didn't expect
beats you
that.
up with
He's
it.
he's got like a six pack.
my legs are trembling, John?
He just fucks
John Oliver, fuck.
and makes prescient political commentary at the same time.
So these work release programs that exist today are very problematic. I would say go watch Last Week Tonight, the episode that he does about that. But I mean, just to very briefly glance over it because we're running over on time, and I don't want to beat this fucking shit.
Oh, are you gonna say it?
Beat this horse to death is what
No,
I was
I thought you were
gonna
gonna say beat this dead prisoner.
I don't want to beat this North Dakota kid to death, but a lot of the issues that
When he
exist
said
today,
beat this, I went, oh.
I know. And I realized that that was not the correct idiom for this particular episode.
It was.
Or maybe it was. This has just evolved, right? This has evolved into a different thing that is still largely exploitative in nature. Now what we have is prisoner work release programs. Traditionally, prisoners that are getting close to parole time, so they can be trusted. They can go work for somewhere. Call it fucking Burger King. Sorry, Burger King. They can go work at fucking Burger King, right? They get on a van from the prison. They go work their shift. They come back on the van from the prison, right? The difference is they are paid
Pennies on the dollar.
literal pennies on the dollar.
Yep.
They have to pay for things like their transportation back and forth. They have to pay for, their uniforms, shit like that. I don't know that the prisons get kickbacks on this.
I would assume that they do.
What's really interesting actually to me on this
I would
is
assume that they don't because the fucking legalities then are nightmarish.
there's a variant of this that is just going to your actual
Enough
job.
money can make any of the. Never mind. I'm like
No, I understand.
hyped up on the idea that what we just heard about is still kind of a thing.
Oh yeah.
You know what? States and companies profit. Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, they frequently just literally make like pennies per hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a version of this of work release that has been in place for a very, very long time, where if you have a job and bills to pay and shit, and like you could prove that like your family relies on you, you can go to jail and they will let you go to your job. They will actually have let you walk out the door and get picked up by a designated person and taken to your job that you already work and work that shift, but you have to come back to prison at the end of the night.
Yeah. I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's not big on like federal penitentiaries and shit like that, but like if you're just going to county and you've got like some minor offense and like if you go to fucking jail for 90 days, your entire family's going to collapse. There are versions of the work release program where you can go just make your regular wage.
Yeah.
But those are very selective and very few and far between.
Yeah.
And they are your choice.
Yeah, I've known somebody who actually had to do that. The other thing that, happens with this, and there are actual stories of this, you don't have to take my word for it, but like once you sign up for one of these work release programs, say you're fucking sick or you twist your ankle or you just don't fucking feel like it.
They can beat you with a bullwhip 127 times.
There can be like penalties, including denying your parole.
Yeah.
If you refuse to go to work, or even if you refuse to do certain tasks at work. Hey, guy who's getting paid 8 cents an hour, go fucking
Clean up this Taco Bell
dive into the
diarrhea.
septic tank.
Jesus Christ.
I dropped my phone in there, and if you say no, they report you back to the prison, and there can be penalties involved for that.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like back to the Reiners, like these systems didn't go away, man. Like it's still the same fucking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they just evolved. Just like, the convict leasing, the fucking bullshit arrests, like it just evolved into something different.
Well,
that's what I was trying to say with all that.
The problem is
I still think it's fucking jacked.
Bullshit. So yeah, that's we can get into the modern day version of this for the next fucking who knows how many hours, but I wanted to do the history of convict leasing, which I guess by that name is no longer exists. So that's the end of that. If you enjoyed this episode, seek professional help, but also before you do that, get on whatever you're listening to, give us 5 stars. If you are on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review. Say whatever you want to say. We don't care. Tell us about your Aunt Denise and what she's up to with that fucking ex-husband of hers these days. You can get on Spotify. If you're listening on Spotify, you can leave a comment on this show or any of the other shows. Get on Instagram. Look for us, Delete Everything Podcast. You'll see all the episode photos and whatnot on there. YouTube has some shorts and things on it. Patreon.
I think we're doing a skit or something soon.
Are we?
Riley mentioned it.
Oh, cool. I'm in. Anyway, Patreon, hit us up there. You'll like it. I promise. Get yourself something nice, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I'm George Takei. Oh, bye. Oculus fuck. Your record's clean? Unlike that dick.